Hey everyone, it's Miss Bellman. This is Unit 9, Lesson 4 homework. This really dives into looking at the coordinate plane, which I happen to love to talk about. Seriously, I love the coordinate plane, looking at quadrants. It's great. It's like a game. Well, that's also why I like math. So I'm going to draw it over here. We have 4 quadrants. The keyword is that quad. There's an X and a Y axis. This is as if we had a vertical and a horizontal number line layered on top of each other. In the middle is origin. The first quadrant's positive, positive. That's quadrant 1. To the left is negative, positive. Quadrant 2. Below is negative, negative. That's quadrant 3. And quadrant 4 is positive, negative. I still can't figure out why I get these weird lines on here. Anywho's it. Number 1. A point in the coordinate plane is on the y-axis and 8 units below the origin. What ordered pair represents this point? So I'm going to draw it on my mini coordinate plane, but when we're thinking that it is 8 units below the origin and it is directly on the y-axis. That means on that long vertical number line, it's going to be on there. And it's going to be 8 below. So the x-coordinate is actually going to be 0 because it didn't go to the left or right. You have to go to the left or right first. You don't get to just jump in anywhere. You pick left or right. For my y-coordinate, that's where we're looking at this 8 units below the origin. So the y-coordinate would be -8 because it's below the origin. If we wrote this as an ordered pair, it would be 0, -8. If we wanted to plot this, we would stay at the origin. We would not move anywhere from there because the x-coordinate would be 0. And then we would count 8 below the x-axis, or 8, so where the horizontal number line is 8 below that, or we would go 8 below 0 origin on the vertical y-axis. Now I threw around a lot of verbiage in there. It's going to be okay. I know, like, together we will be able to figure this out. The signs of the coordinates of an ordered pair are positive, negative. Which quadrant is the point located? Again, 4 quadrants. Quad, that's 4 quadrants on the coordinate plane. You have an x and a y axis. You always go left or right first. So boom, you have to pick. So, and I'm labeling this with positive and negative. Quadrant 1 is positive, positive. That means the x is positive and the y is positive. Quadrant 2, that's when you go to the left and then you go up. So that's negative, positive. Quadrant 3, you went to the left and you went down. That's negative, negative. And quadrant 4, you went to the right. So it's positive. And then you went down, which is negative. So this ordered pair is positive, negative. We're going to find that in quadrant 4. And I'm labeling them and they go counterclockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a tip I had in my class. Get in the habit of being able to draw this and kind of quiz yourself. Okay, if we had -2, -2, that'd be in quadrant 3. If we had 14, 72, that would be quadrant 1. We did that all the time in my room just to keep our brains fresh. So for number 2, this would be quadrant 4. It's a positive x, so it's going to the right. But it had a negative, so it's going down. So it's going to the right of origin on the horizontal number line. And then it's going down below origin on the vertical number line. They just happen to be overlapped. So that's where we get the negative. If I gave you -7, 3, which quadrant would that be in? Right, if you said 2, kudos, snaps for you. If I said 13, 4, yep, quadrant 1. It is also important that we're really paying attention to the order. It has to go x first, because if we had in 4, 13, so that's positive, positive. If we had 13, 4, our number would be very different where it's pointed. So we're going to use the coordinate plane for exercises 3 through 10. We're going to write the location of each point. I am already going to write in here the quadrants. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. I get in the habit of doing this, man. It's important that I use what I know and I start modeling this, and I'm taking advantage of the space as well. I'm writing myself a reminder. Positive, positive for quadrant 1. Negative, positive for quadrant 2. Negative, negative for quadrant 3. And positive, negative for quadrant 4. All of the points A, B, C, and D, they are already located on the on this coordinate plane. So A, I went to the left 7, it's negative 7. And then I'm going down, I went down 5, so it's negative 5. That happens to be in quadrant 3. B, 0, it's at origin. My x coordinate is 0, but I went up 7, so it's 0, 7. C, I went over to the left 8, and then I went up 1. 8, 1. And D, I went to the right 5, and I went down 8. So 5, negative 8. 4, 7 through 10, I'm going to plot these points in the coordinate plane. Point W is negative 3, 0. So I'm going to go to the left, negative 3. And then it's right on the axis because it's 0. X, 6, negative 2. That's a positive and a negative. I already know it's going to be in quadrant 4. So over 6, down 2. Y, negative 4, negative 10. That's going to be in quadrant 3. They're both negative. So I go over 4 and down 10, and I plot that as Y. And Z, negative 6, 6. That's going to be all the way in quadrant 2. I go over 6 and up 6. And there's point Z. Start thinking, how can I draw this? Quiz yourself. Draw the coordinate plane without looking. Check your answer. Also, this is a great time to find a battleship game. That's when you're looking at quadrants and the coordinates that go along with it. This is an awesome time to do that. And if you do, hey, share it with me. I'd love to see that. Keep working hard, and I know you've got this.